Mike Chuck podcast without Mike because he's too good for us. Live from the CHI Center in Omaha, Nebraska. We just finished up the Girls State tournament. Cody, we'll start with you. What were some of the things that kind of stood out to you today?
Well, I was over on the Class B side, so definitely UTN coming through, and we kind of thought at the beginning of the tournament they were going to win it all, and they went through, and their girls that needed wins got wins. They had a couple girls come through on the backside, get a third, get a fourth, and they just kind of pulled away there in the end to win the team title. Definitely saw a lot of good action. Lacey Lemberg for Lakeview had a really nice finals match, came out here, got dominant. Betty Chambers from Palmyra and drawing a blank on the other heavyweight for Palmyra. They came out, got 2 titles for Palmyra. Evelyn Bryan Aldridge, she was fantastic, and just kind of she went out there and got a pin in about 30 seconds, and incredible day. There was a lot of action from 100 all the way up. These girls just came out, they fought, they really brought it today. There wasn't, sometimes you get a little timid when you get into the state championship, and did not feel like we saw any of that today. These girls just came out and they let it fly, and it was really just fantastic matches, and that's what B-side was absolutely incredible.
Yeah, and over on the Class A side, we were all kind of gearing up for that Peacher Lions match, and I think it kind of lived up to expectations right there. Your heart really breaks for Macy Peacher. She's been one of the trailblazers for it, for the sport, and to kind of not go out the way you want, not meet your goals. But then on the opposite end, you've got Kaylin Lyons, who's just barely the second ever state champion in Westview history. They had a bowling state champion last week, but Kaylin Lyons, she really is helped put Westview on the map, and I'll tell you what, they've got some studs too over there. And then your heavy hitters with Morgan Moshman and Kaylin Harrell come out and just do what they do, and Caden Sipp just kind of put on a workmanlike performance. Drew, what were some of the things that stood out to you, not just today, but over the whole weekend?
Oh, yeah, well, Audrey Heron is Westview's third state champion now that they got the bowling, and Kaylin and Audrey ended the day on a high note for Omaha Westview, which is really cool. You have to admire Norfolk for battling on the backside. They had one state champion, I maybe just a couple semifinalists, and Westside was loaded up in the semis, and that's kind of the epitome of a team, is what Norfolk was able to accomplish this week, to outlast Omaha Westside, the defending state champion team, coached by somebody he's just all right. But you know what? Hats off to Westside too, man. They made it fun. They had a lot of adversity to overcome this year with injuries, and 2 of their starters didn't even get to compete this year. So overall, probably a pretty successful season there. I thought Macy Peacher wrestled really well against Kaylin Lyons today. The first match, Lyons won 6-2, 2 takedowns to none. Macy came out and got the first points today. There for a little while, it was looking like maybe that would hold, and then Kaylin Lyons hit that blast double and kind of took control a little bit. So you said it, hats off to both of them. Hats off to all the state champions. It was just, and Cody said it too, just a really, really good day on both sides, A and B.
I want to talk a little bit about the, Drew can probably hit on a little bit too. The Class A 155-pound match was absolutely incredible between Roberts and Barber. That was physical, action-packed. There was just so much going on, and it comes down to the very end, and we see Anya Roberts come out with the state title, and just that was probably going to be one of my favorite matches of the day. And then Class A 170 goes to, ultimate tiebreakers, and Grazer comes out with the state title. Just hard fought. That was definitely well-conditioned wrestlers there at 170. That was, what is that, overall about 10 minutes of wrestling, 11 minutes wrestling. It was fantastic.
Fellas, I'm not one to, I don't want to throw this out there, but how do you have a 0-0 match with 0 stalling calls in Ultimate Rideout?
Yeah.
Marcus, I love you, brother, but there's what happened? That 155 match, something I wanted to kind of touch on, this state tournament was, not only was it the first standalone tournament for the girls, but it's kind of an end of an era for those trailblazers that have really stepped up. You know, your Macy Peachers, your Zoe Barbers, Anya Roberts, you know, the Pearson twins. You could go on and on, but you know, it's a really bittersweet moment.
Yeah, with Ambi Custard, you know, coming back, breaking her arm last year, missing all of last year. She's medalist as a freshman, runner-up as a sophomore, losing to Pearson, beats Pearson in the semifinals today, and ends her, you know, high school career with the state title. She was right along in there with those Trailblazers at the very beginning.
Fellas, how cool was it to see this whole lower bowl full tonight? I mean, this was the first girls state tournament that was standalone, and you had the whole bowl that was full.
Well, I think the lower bowl was basically full the whole time. I talked to Ron yesterday, and I think they sold almost 6,000, had 6,000 people come through the gate yesterday for the first ever state tournament. For comparison's sake, the Iowa venue where they held theirs, which sold out, was 5,100. So that tells you that tells you everything you need to know about girls wrestling. I know Ron was thrilled. I think everyone that was here were probably pretty happy with the way the event went. And the crowds were loud. The teams rallied around each other. And I didn't even think about that. It is kind of the end of an era with those girls. You know, so credit to them, because they were the first class, if you will, of Nebraska wrestling being officially sanctioned. So salute to all the seniors. Some of them didn't get what they came for this year. Think of a few off the top of your head, but you know, that doesn't take away from their accomplishments and what they've done for the sport.
Yeah, I think for the girls that didn't finish how they wanted, you have to kind of put it in perspective that you did something bigger than yourself. You know, you really helped build something that's going to be sustained for a long time and just keep growing. Fellas, I know that you've had a long couple days here, and you've got another few more days. So let's go ahead and sign off from the CHI Center from the first ever girls standalone tournament.